In today's economy, is it wiser for you to rent or to buy a house in 2024? And if you're on the fence about which one to choose, this video is perfect for you. By the end, you'll have a better perspective and more insight on how to think this through so you can be educated and empowered to make the right decision. And if you want your home buying journey to be as smooth as possible, hit the subscribe button below and you'll continue receiving good education and information to help you think through every real estate decision you have. So in my 17 years of helping people navigate their real estate decisions, the most common question I get is, Justin, should I buy or should I rent this year? Deciding whether you should rent or buy can feel paralyzing at times. So it's important to understand how to think this through and how to strategize so you can make the best decision for you and your family. Renting has its advantages, but so does being a homeowner. Let's explore the pros and cons of both to see which one suits you best. Now, most people tend to look at this solely through a financial lens, but your life circumstances are equally, if not more important. So here are 3 things that you absolutely need to consider. Number 1 is your employment and income stability. Where do you work? How long have you been there? What's the likelihood of you staying? Perhaps you're self-employed. Have you started a new business or are you in between jobs? Your employment and financial stability is a major factor on whether you should rent or buy. Number 2, what's the likelihood of you staying in the current city that you're in? Generally speaking, if you're not going to be in a home you buy for at least 3 years, the economics don't make sense. Do you see yourself staying where you're at? If so, how long are you going to be there? This is really important. Number 3, what's the current season or stage of your life? Are you single? Are you dating? Are you engaged? Are you married? Are you starting or growing a family? This dynamic is important to consider, and you want to look down the road at least 2 or 3 years to think about where do you want your life to be and what's it going to look like. Now let's talk about financial circumstances. The second major element I know everyone is thinking about right now is timing the market. When is the right time to buy and when will it be the right time to buy? Well, the data doesn't lie. Since 1980, home values have only come down 4 times over the last 43 years, which means they've gone up the other 39 years. You may have heard this phrase, and I promise you it holds true. Time in the market always beats timing the market. Now, I know many people are waiting for either interest rates or home values to drop. And I'll give you my personal opinion. It's very unlikely we see home values drop anytime soon. The demand is so strong right now, and the supply is just not prevalent enough. There are tens of millions of people that either have their home paid off or their interest rates are so low that they're not selling anytime soon. Now, interest rates are expected to come down in 2025. The writing's already on the wall, but when that happens, millions of potential home buyers are going to enter the market. They're going to bid on the same properties, and it's going to drive home prices up even higher. Now, let's look at this from a cost comparison standpoint. Generally speaking, renting comes with minimal costs. There's no down payment, there's no closing costs, and aside from your first month's, last month's rent, and maybe a small leasing agent fee, that's about it. Renting also gives you a ton of flexibility, which for some is great, but that flexibility comes with opportunity costs. For example, let's say you're paying about $2,500 a month for rent. Every year, that's $30,000, and over the course of 3 years, that's almost $100,000 that you've put towards rent have gotten nothing in return. Some other benefits aside from flexibility are low maintenance, no mowing the lawn, and when something breaks or has to be repaired, that does not come out of your pocket. So again, if the likelihood of you being in the same city or location for the next 3 years is low, renting is most likely your best bet. Now, side note, I've heard some crazy horror stories about slumlords and people living in these busted down apartments where things never work or don't get fixed. I'm not going to dive into that stuff, but if you have experienced that or you have some crazy story, drop it in the comments below. I'd love to hear a little bit of your perspective and insight. Now let's jump into homeownership, which also comes with its pros and cons. Starting off with the cost of buying a home. You got your down payment, you got closing costs, and generally speaking, your mortgage payments, which include taxes, insurance, and maybe HOAs, are definitely going to be higher than what you would otherwise pay for rent. In addition to that, any type of maintenance, landscaping, fixing the toilet, that's on you. Get that screwdriver out or call the handyman because that comes out of your pocket. However, the benefits and the upside can be absolutely tremendous. Real estate tends to be a great investment in the long run. You saw the information I dropped earlier about how often home prices have gone up and the likelihood of them continuing to go up. Every single month when you make that mortgage payment, you're building equity, and that equity can be used and reinvested over time. Stability is super important. Building community, having a stable place to call home for you and your family, a place for your kids to go to school, a place to have people over for holiday dinners, that can be priceless for many people. And let's not forget the tax and accounting incentives and the way you can optimize and lower the amount of income taxes you pay to the IRS. So here are my thoughts. If you plan on staying in the current city you're at for at least the next 3 to 5 years and your income and employment is stable, you should definitely consider purchasing a home and at least get the education you need about mortgage payments, closing costs, and down payment. However, if it's likely that you're going to move or you're not sure about your employment stability and you just don't want that commitment, I think renting is right for you. So if you're thinking about buying a home in the next year, I created a free homebuyer checklist to guide you and give information on all the things you should know. Now, if you liked this video and hopefully learned a bit, please share it with others who are also thinking about renting and buying and what makes sense for them. It'll also mean the world to us if you subscribe to this channel. See you next time.